I bow to the Almighty in my mind, speech, and body. Vanakkam. We saw that Tamil is one of the oldest languages in the world. It belonged to a civilization that lived many thousands of years ago, and they have left behind for us numerous texts that contain valuable information. Going forward, I will refer to them as our Tamil ancestors. Today, we will see how to learn this language. The Tamil language has undergone many changes over this long period of time, and so the language that is currently in use today is a little different from the Tamil that was used in the olden days. Most of the olden literature is composed in the poetic form, and the Tamil used in the poetic form is very advanced and involves an extensive knowledge of grammar. We will get there eventually. In our current use, we have the formal Tamil and the informal Tamil. Formal Tamil is what we find in the newspapers, magazines, and all of the official written documents. This formal Tamil is what we will begin to learn. The informal Tamil, on the other hand, is a loose version of the formal Tamil, and that is the most widely used spoken form. Once we have a good grasp of the formal Tamil, the informal Tamil will be easier to pick up. There are variations in the dialect of the informal Tamil across the Tamil speaking places, and a knowledge of one dialect will help you to grasp the other dialects easily as and when you mingle with the people of that region. According to Tolkappiyam, the book which is the authority on Tamil grammar, the right approach to learning Tamil is as follows. First, we will start with the alphabets, also called as the Ezhuthukal, and then we will move to building our vocabulary. This is also called as Nigandu in Tamil. And then we will learn grammar, which is Ilakkanam in Tamil. And with these three, we will be able to read and understand most of the formal written works. After this, there is Tarkam, which is logical reasoning. Ilakkanam and Tarkam are the scientific portions of the Tamil language. What do I mean by the scientific portion of the language? You see, our Tamil ancestors were people of few words. In their times, educated and wise people were very good at expressing their ideas in a few words. So, we find that in most of their books, many important ideas and deep truths and even scientific and mathematical concepts are condensed in a few words. Ideas for which we would normally require a page to express, they have given it away in a single line. And this technique of compacting of ideas in a few words is called Suthiram in Tamil. And Ilakkanam and Tarkam are the tools used to do that. It is a science in itself. Imagine if we have to stuff a lot of cotton in a small glass jar. We can adopt many techniques. We may roll them into threads or small balls and stuff them in a box, pack it tightly and stuff some more and so on. And when taking out the cotton, the same technique that was used to stuff the cotton must be employed. Only someone who understood how it was stuffed will be able to successfully extract a small piece of cotton. Others will simply dig, push and punch and eventually break the jar in frustration. Similarly, we need tools like Ilakkanam and Tarkam to extract the meaning stuffed in a few sentences in Tamil literature. So after we learn the Ilakkanam and the Tarkam, we can move on to the more serious literature in the Tamil language. And finally, the pinnacle of wisdom of our ancestors are presented in a set of books called May Nool, or translated literally it means the book of truths. This is the ultimate knowledge one can possibly get via books. After this, there is only self-realization, and hopefully we'll get there as well. Tamil ancestors celebrated the language in three different forms. First, as stories and poems, also called as Iyal in Tamil, and as music, also called as Isai, and as drama and play, also called as Nadagam. And we call these three together as Muttamil, or the three parts of Tamil. If you can recall, in the opening slide of the first presentation, I had a prayer to Lord Ganesha asking him to bless us with Muttamil. So before we start learning the alphabets, let's see how to pronounce the name of this language correctly. Even though we spell Tamil as T-A-M-I-L, We don't pronounce it as ta-mil or ta-mil. The right pronunciation is tha-mi-il. This letter is the letter Ra. For the lack of an equivalent letter in English, we use ZHA to represent the pronunciation of this letter. Now, to pronounce this letter, you bend your tongue backwards as if to touch the throat, and don't let the tip of the tongue to touch the roof of the mouth. Let the sides of the tongue touch the roof of the mouth. Now move your tongue as if you are stroking the roof of your mouth, and let the air come through the middle as you say Ra, like this, Ra. Now when there is a dot on the Ra, it becomes Il. So just as before, but instead of making the stroking movement outwards, you stroke it inwards and say Ir. We will revisit this letter when we learn the Tamil alphabets. So Tha, Mi, Ir, Tamil is how you pronounce the name of the language that we are about to learn. And with this, we'll finish off the session, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you. Nandri Vanakkam.